Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night wherever you're from. And real quick, before we get started, as always, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' generosity and gratitude. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much for the constant support. And if you're actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, the loyalty crown badges, if you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. And like I always like to say, just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way you can support me. Liking, subscribing, commenting, everything really does help. So thank you guys so much. And for today's video, you know, it's kind of weird, right? The fact that we got the collab announcement right when Zwei's banners, you know, coming up. A lot of people aren't really gonna pull. And, you know, I already did my poll, so, you know, if you missed that video, go watch it. That being said, though, you know, I've done a little bit of testing, you know, before I do this video, so I know what I'm talking about. And I'm kind of disappointed. This feels, you know, Elysion could use a really good win right now, and it seems like Shift Up just doesn't care about Elysion apparently. I really don't understand Zwei's kit in terms of the Tribe Tower. Why is she a burst 1 when we have D-Killer Wife there? And the fact that she buffs Piercing, even though Elysion Tower really doesn't utilize that outside of, you know, like D-Killer Wife, but she is a, you know, support. So, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know when Elysion's gonna get, you know, their good win, but without any delays, let's get to talking about Zwei. And when it comes down to Zwei, in terms of, like, you know, her overall, like, usage case, one thing I want to talk about when it comes to investing in her is that I honestly don't feel like you even need to go that far. I feel like 444 is fine. Even then, I feel like it might be a little bit too much in my opinion, because it just kind of feels like a waste of mats in my opinion. But if, you know, you're doing this for waifu purposes, if you really like her character and you want to invest in her more, definitely prioritize her skill 1 and prioritize her burst. So I'd probably recommend going maybe 747. And, you know, even though I have her with armor and stuff, I still don't have her bond all the way to 10. And cube wise, I don't even think I would recommend even giving her a cube personally. Since she's shotguns, I mean, you could go with, like, you know, the hit rate cube of the assault cube. You could do that. But I honestly think it's just kind of a waste in my opinion. I don't think it's worth it. And, you know, because I don't have D-Killer Wife, what we're going to do with this testing is that we're going to be doing the Snow White Maxwell team. That being said, though, when we do the comparison, we're actually doing a comparison with Miranda. Miranda in solo raid is actually used a lot. And the reason for that is because of her burst skill, nothing else. And that's because her burst skill, you know, attack up 29.38% for 10 seconds, critical damage 40.89, and it affects the ally with the highest attack. So that's really, really good. That being said, when it comes to investment, a lot of people just do 4-4-10. So if you're thinking of using an alternative for Zwei, might be a little bit more investment heavy, because they're going to be using both skill 1 and the burst. But we'll see. Obviously, I don't have D-Killer Wife with solo, just because the CDR right there and everything. But I know Miranda is also used depending if D-Killer Wife is going to be used somewhere else. We'll see. We're just going to get started with the Union raid. And first things first, we're just going to do just a boss, and we're just going to target just pure DPS. And what we're going to be looking at is just to see who gets supported more. Obviously, I'm going to be using Crown here, and Naga just, you know, to keep up with Crown's skill 2. Crown's just going to be an overall damage dealer / buffer for the team. So whatever damage she does is going to be great, but we're not looking at her. We're just going to be looking at Snow White and Maxwell and seeing the differences between the support that they get from either Miranda and Zwei. So let's just get started. And honestly, I kind of, you know, I mean, at least this is nice, right? Because the fact that this unit's kind of like whatever, you can save and not really feel guilty about putting her in the standard banner. So I guess it is what it is. So expect, like, me to talk about, like, similar things when it comes to the should you pull video. But first things we're going to look at is we're going to try to find Miranda's powering up. And there, that's what we're looking for, because that's what's going to give Snow White her boost. And obviously, you know, depending on investment, it could be way better. Obviously, I don't have this team fully invested. That being said, you know, same situation still happens, so still good for testing. But, you know, this is a 3-minute boss fight, and I really don't want to take up the whole time. So what I'm going to do is, you know, just cut forward, and I'll be right back when we actually get a better idea. So give me 1 second. Alright, so we're cutting close to the end here, so we're about to get, you know, a good idea of the results here. And we'll see, you know, Obviously, this isn't like the most invested team, so a lot of the numbers might be lower than, you know, other usual teams when it comes to Snow White or Maxwell. And first things first, you know, Crown. We're gonna just ignore Crown because her numbers are just insane. Miranda's just kind of whatever. What we're looking for is Snow White and Maxwell. So we're gonna remember the 278 million and 133 million. And from there, we're just gonna have to remember so we can get a good idea when we actually, you know, compare to Zwei. So, you know, let's go see. And we're just gonna go replace Miranda. We're gonna keep the same team, but we're just gonna replace Miranda with Zwei. And just go from there and get a better idea of, you know, the usage case to see if it's worth it or not. But we'll see. Honestly, I'm just kind of like whatever. I'm not that upset about her just because I didn't get shafted. If I got shafted and pulled more than 4, I think I'd be pretty upset. Just because it's like, especially for a unit I didn't even want before the collab. So, you know, I mostly do it for content and stuff for you guys. But I always get nervous when it comes to situations like this because it's like, man, I really didn't care for getting the character. Like, she looks cool and all. I love her personality, but to me, it's not worth it for the pulling. But we'll see. As usual, what we're looking for with Zwei and like Snow White or anybody like that, the one thing that we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for the Pierce equation and stuff, just because that really helps Snow White. But obviously, it already passed. So what I want to do is actually, you know, cut it close real quick. And we're actually going to pull up towards the end because Maxwell, I believe she got the overcharge formula as well. So, you know, even though, you know, we'll see. We'll see. So what we're going to do is just cut it to the end, and I'll be right back, and we'll get a better idea of, you know, if they pair together or not. So we'll see. Be right back. Alright, so like before, we're getting close to, you know, the end here, and we're just going to get a better idea. And we'll see right now with the results. And obviously, we're not going to focus on anybody else except Snow White and Maxwell. First thing I want to say is that Maxwell went up about 4 million. About. Snow White actually went down quite a bit, but also that could also happen just because of how the burst went out, if depending on if the boss jumped up when, you know, she did her burst. But I mean, overall, what are my thoughts? I want to say that she did a bit more damage than Miranda, Zwei. She buffed Maxwell a little bit more, and I think overall it's still underwhelming. Could she be an alternative to Miranda? Of course she can. Do I think it's worth investing into? If you have D-Killer Wife, if you have Miranda already, there's no point, honestly. I feel like this is just like another version of Miranda. Even then, for Tower, it has probably less usage. So, I really don't know why they decided to do this for her. If they should have just made her, you know, a DPS, Burst 3. I know we have a lot of Burst 3s, but Elysion could use some. So, it's kind of a shame, honestly, that how she turned out. You know, design-wise, how she looks, I really love her design. I love her personality in the story. I'm really liking the story personally because it's a continuation of School of Lock. I really like learning about the whole MMR stuff. That being said, though, as a character, I don't know. I honestly feel like this is definitely a skip character. There's no point in really trying to, like, use her. If you already have a team for Solo Raid with Snow White Maxwell, with Miranda, you might as well just keep that going. But that's me personally. And you're gonna, like I mentioned earlier, you're gonna hear the same things when I talk about the should you pull video. That's gonna be a pretty quick video, honestly. I'm thinking of like making a joke and just being like, no. And then it's like a 40-second video. And it's just me thanking my like channel members, and that's it. We'll see. But that's gonna be it for me. So I hope you guys have a lovely day, a lovely night wherever you're from. And as always, thank you guys for the constant support and look forward to the next one. Take care.